right, welcome to Talk Sport on Global Television. It's time for us to look at all the big issues making the rounds in the exciting world of sport. And yes, you're the right dial. You've got two of the finest sports casters in the continent waiting and willing to give you all the big stories making the rounds. I'm not alone. I've got my co-host and the studios. Odi is right here.
Hello there. Good morning, Mr. Tony.
Yeah, good morning.
Viewers, thank you so much for tuning in.
All right, we're ready to give you all the big stories making the rounds. Samuel, I know you've got some top stories that we will be looking at in the course of the program.
Yes.
One of the big ones has to do with Joseph Peseiro. Somebody wants him.
Yes, Algeria are clamoring for him so badly, and they are giving him a very, very juicy offer. If he has an Igbo man mentality in him, I think he will just have to abandon Nigeria and just go for the bag. Algeria are offering him a very good deal, and he's still looking to either stay back, prove himself that yes, I made a few errors with the Super Eagles, but I want to go back and correct the errors and come back with the trophy to just prove that yes, I'm actually good, and then I can actually be here and perform. But if, like I said, he has an Igbo man mentality, he will just maybe abandon and like, okay, this didn't work out, let's go on to the next and see what Algeria is going to be.
All right, you also talked about the special one, Jose Mourinho. What's the news about the special one?
Yeah, the special one actually got fired a few weeks ago from AS Roma.
Roma, yeah.
And then his best friend, Josep Peseiro, is actually saying that he's going to do well with Barcelona and advising other big clubs to also look at, giving him a chance and then giving him an offer for him to just come and perform. Bayern Munich is clamoring for a coach now, Liverpool trying to get someone and all of that. So he's just putting his friend out there, for his friend to have an opportunity, and for other people to just look at his own side and see if they're going to make him a manager of a club.
Okay, looking at the special one, we know that the special one is someone who has been there, has done that, won Champions League, won leagues. Do you think why is it difficult for Jose Mourinho to get the big clubs these days?
The thing is, there are a whole lot of young and upcoming coaches that are doing so well. Look at Xavi Alonso, who is doing well so far in Bayer Leverkusen, topping the league over there. And all of that now, there are a lot of young coaches coming up. So most club owners are looking to invest more in young people. But still, the special one is the special one. Definitely is going to get a big club soon.
All right, the special one is still the special one. Hopefully, he's going to get a big team soon. All right, let's just give you some big stories while Odi gives us his own perspective for each of the big stories we are going to be sharing with you this morning. Let's begin from the blue side of Manchester, where Pep Guardiola has apologized to Calvin Phillips for publicly revealing the midfielder was overweight last season. Phillips was told to stay away from Manchester City over Christmas on failing to hit the target weight after returning from a post-World Cup holiday to New York. The 28-year-old, who has enjoyed a turbulent start on loan at West Ham United, recently admitted that he felt hurt by the way in which Guardiola announced the issue through the press. His mother, Lindsay, has stopped attending City matches. Philip has said that he didn't disagree with Guardiola's assessment, but that there are different ways to go about things. The pair have never since discussed the issue. But finally, this Pep coming out to say, I'm sorry. Did you think Pep did it on purpose, or he just came out wrongly, or he was insensitive to the players' emotions?
I think I wouldn't say, definitely coaches have their assessment on players, right? Yeah. But there are some things that, shouldn't be shouldn't be brought out in the open like that. Definitely he's going to take it as a critic, and then he should go back and then work on himself and then meet the weight. But Pep Guardiola coming again to apologize for that statement shows how mature and how, willing he is to work with this player.
But why did it take him a whole full season to come out to apologize?
It takes time, for him to realize. It took me a little time for him to realize that, okay, I went below the belt here, and for the right thing to do is to come out and then apologize, which he did, and I'm sure they are going to get back on good terms. All
right, we wish Calvin Phillips the very best. He's currently on loan at West Ham United, and he got a red card last weekend previous weekend ago, and let's see if his career. But do you think this has affected his confidence and career? He made a very big move to Man City, but couldn't get the playing time, couldn't fit in. How would this impact on his confidence? And now in West Ham United, still not getting it right, got a red card in one of his recent games.
I would say he should, that was a very big move for him to come to Man City, and then the whole thing turned out the way it did. But this is not time. This is like he's at his low point right now, so he just needs to come up and then fight, do what he needs to do, train harder, get fit, and then not let, he's been emotional. He's been emotional right now. That's why he was able to, get the red card over that silly challenge that occurred. So I would say he should take his time, relax more, take everything easy, train, and then get back to it, because he's a very young and a good player. So when he gets back on his feet, gets fit totally, he's definitely going to bounce back and then keep scoring goals like he always does.
All right, let's wishing Calvin Phillips the very best as he goes on loan to West Ham United. Let's give you other big stories making it around. Let's take you to Anfield, where the big story has to do with one of their star players. Let's tell you that Liverpool's injury crisis has intensified with Diogo Jota and Curtis Jones ruled out of this weekend's Carabao Cup final against Chelsea. Scans have confirmed that the pairs face a spell on the sidelines and will not be available for Wembley final, where Liverpool will also be without Trent Alexander-Arnold and Dominic, and Alisson are also major doubts due to hamstring issues. Jota and Jones were withdrawn in the first half of the 4-1 win at Brentford on Saturday with respective knee and ankle injuries. Like you see on your screen there, those two players will be out. Liverpool will await further tests before putting a timescale on their recoveries, but there are concerns. Jota faces up to 2 months out with knee injury. Facing Chelsea with two very talented and potent players like Jota, who has been a goal poacher for Liverpool, and Curtis Jones has been phenomenal for the Reds in terms of his midfield flow.
Yes, actually, these both players are definitely going to be missed if they don't come to play on Sunday. And with the momentum that Chelsea just found right now, and the way they played, they played like the Chelsea of old, hungry, aggressive, and then they kept going and going, but sadly they had a draw. I know they wanted to win badly, but with this as absence of Diego coming this weekend, it's going to really, really affect Liverpool. But definitely, they have a very smart coach who is going to navigate and then find a way to make it work for them to win the trophy.
All right, well, we'll be looking keenly to see how that game is going to pan out, talking about Liverpool taking on Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final. But we already know that Jota and Curtis Jones will be missing, and also we've got the goalkeeper in the person of Alisson Becker, also a doubt for Liverpool. So it gives the Blues of Chelsea a chance to get into that final with a big shout. All right, let's take you to Germany, the big story there. Let's talk about Bayern Munich. Let's tell you that Bayern Munich are monitoring former Manchester United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a potential interim manager should they decide to sack Thomas Tuchel. According to reports in Germany, the Bavarian Giants are reeling from 3 straight defeats, which has left them 8 points adrift in the Bundesliga and facing a 1-goal deficit in the Champions League last 16 second leg. Tuchel has come under increasing criticism with Sunday's 3-2 defeat to Bochum, wrapping up pressure on the former Chelsea boss. Meanwhile, Bayer Leverkusen boss Xabi Alonso has been linked with a long-term replacement, while former manager Hansi Flick has also been rumored, but for a role until the end of the campaign. However, according to Sky Germany, shockingly, Solskjaer is another name in the frame to take over at the Allianz Arena. We saw Solskjaer didn't do so well for Manchester United, but he's been named. We've got Hansi Flick, former German national team coach, and also former Bayern coach, been also touted. For Thomas Tuchel, is there a way back for him? It's obvious he's going to get his sack.
It's actually out there, It's no longer rumors. It was rumors before, but now it's actually out there that he might be leaving or he might be fired by the end of by this summer. So the former Manchester United coach is Solskjaer is actually on the top list for them, and I feel he's going to. He didn't do so well in Man United.
Is that what they're using for interim? And do you think?
You know, it's just more like a professional basis, because I'm not certain that you know, he's going to fit in, but you know, with his experience and the qualities that he have, you know, he can actually walk around it and then find a way to like crack the nuts where Thomas failed, and then probably excel to be the club manager.
Well, what do you think happened to Thomas Tuchel? He left Chelsea. And we know that he was in Paris Saint-Germain. Mm-hmm. He got sacked. Chelsea picked him up. He was doing well in Chelsea, and you know, got it all mixed up in Chelsea. And now Bayern. Do you think he's running out of his best lucks, because these are big teams?
You know, most of the time, like Guardiola would do, if it's not going so well, he goes back to his drawing board and then figure out where he's lacking. So I think he has he missed it somewhere, because come on, Tuchel was actually doing so well. He was kicking it when he was in PSG. He came to Chelsea and was doing well before it went south. He went to Bayern, and then at some point it wasn't working, just like it wasn't working right now. So I think he should go back to his drawing board, like, you know, look for the loopholes where he missed out, and then maybe work more, you know, get more strategies on how to face challenges. And then when he does that, he should come back, you know, maybe he should just resign. You know, it's better you live honorably than you just get fired like that. So I feel he should just, you know, resign and then go work on himself, work on more strategies for winning games, winning trophies for club, because basically that's the #1 reason why you're there. So if you're not winning games for that club, I know investors and club owners wouldn't want to keep someone that is not, you know, delivering.
All right, if we look at what happened to him in Chelsea, where he began having problems was when he had this public spout with one of opposing coaches, players. Paris Saint-Germain, the same thing, had some issues with some players. And Bayern currently, last 2 weekends, he had some players he dropped, and it caused some uproar. Do you think his man-managing style with his players is something that is one of his Achilles?
You know, I would say they are all they are players, but at the end of the day, they are still, you know, grown men. And then there's a way you need to manage, you know, grown men and all of that. So I would say his managing skill that's what I said, he should go back and look at those areas where he's making mistakes. You know, probably if, you know, you're dropping some persons and some persons are not agreeing with it, you know, most times these players can, you know, contribute to making you leave. If you're not recognizing them and giving them the respect that is accorded to them. Yes, you are the manager, yes, you are the coach, but you shouldn't be having this same series of having a backlash with your players. If there is no unity, if there is no oneness in the locker room, there is no how they will perform properly on the field of play. Even if you as a coach, you are doing your job, if they gang up against you, you're just one man. You get, they can just, you know, gang up and then decide not to win a game just for you to, just for the club owners and other team members, and to see that, and the fans now to see that, okay, this man is not doing his job, and then your job will be on the line, then you get fired.
All right, let's look at other big stories before we talk about some issues that have to do with Jose Peseiro and other issues he will be giving us a heads up about. Let's tell you that Neymar likes a social post blasting his former PSG teammate Kylian Mbappe for leaving the Ligue 1 side. That's the big story there. Neymar hinted at a lingering rift between himself and former PSG teammate Kylian Mbappe after he liked a post criticizing the Frenchman for leaving the Ligue 1 club. Mbappe informed the Parisians that he will not be extending his contract beyond the end of the season, as he reportedly draws closer to a move to Real Madrid. The 25-year-old is set to call time on his 7-year stay in Paris, the majority of which was spent alongside Neymar, who joined for a world record fee in the summer of 2017, despite arriving at a lower cost, though still in excess of 100 billion pounds. Mbappe quickly established himself as the main man at the Parc des Princes, with rumors abounding of a friction between the pair. Having left the French club for Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal last summer, many fans would have expected a cease of tension. However, Neymar appeared to reignite their semi feud with his recent actions on social media. Brazilian social media account Jogada Sanda posted a sketching assessment of the World Cup winner, criticizing his influence at PSG and the state he will leave the squad when he departs. Looking at these two players, for you, the sparta between Neymar and Mbappe, do you think there's need for this, or do you think it's Neymar that has the issue, or it's just Mbappe or Neymar just being jealous that he could not overthrow Mbappe at Parc des Princes?
Okay, just like we have it in basketball, there are always people that are like, okay, like LeBron James now is a very big player in the Lakers. So you can't come, Giannis Antetokounmpo now can't come into the Lakers and then take over. So now it's just like that. Mbappe has been there. He has done so much for the club. So Neymar is a big name already. Coming in, they just wanted to cement the floor so that these two giants will be able to, like, you know, win lots of trophies for this club. But you know, pride sets in, and then Neymar will be like, okay, I've been doing this before this young man, so he wants to be like the guy, the main man in the team, which is not possible. And then Mbappe was seen to be the future of PSG. Now, though he has been clamoring to leave, and then he wants to leave to a different place, you know, test the waters and then have different experiences. So I think this is just, you know, a clash between two players that doesn't have anything to do with the club and the team in general.
We did see the club handled the affair well, because it seemed very obvious that PSG backed Mbappe. Was it because he was a French national team player? He was a poster boy of PSG. So why bring in a Neymar, who you already know is also a very big name and would never want to play second fiddle to Mbappe?
You know, Mbappe has always been there, like you said, has been the feeder, and then he's a French national. So I feel, you know, all of this now, though there's no room for racism in football, in any kind of sport at all, but they'll take him as is our own, and they'll want to accord him that respect because of how far they've seen him grow. You know, definitely he has, like, spent all his life there in PSG. So, and he has proven himself times and times over and over again, you know, winning games. And then whenever they need him in a crucial moment, he always, you know, come to deliver. So I don't think they would have just given Neymar, despite the fact that he's a big name and a big player who also scores goals and then perform for his team. They won't just, you know, push Mbappe aside and then hand over the keys to the city to Neymar. You know, that wouldn't be fair on the part of Mbappe.
But let's look at Neymar and Mbappe. Do you think Neymar was right when he says the state in which Mbappe has left PSG is worse than he met it? Because Messi also came to PSG, and we saw there were times when Mbappe caused a lot of rift in the team, and Messi couldn't stay. Messi had to also leave.
You know, Mbappe is a young man that feels everything is supposed to be, you know, centered around him. You know, he just wants everything, you know, to pass through him and all of that, which wouldn't happen. Neymar is not a small player. Messi is not a small player. So if you don't accord them that respect, you know, that they deserve, they would leave, because definitely they would go somewhere else and then do better. So everything now needs to be accorded. Everybody has his own respect. Everybody has his own acknowledgement that they need to get. So Messi, I actually didn't see Messi leaving PSG that soon. I expected he was going to be there for, you know, a period of time.
Well, can we put it actually down to the Mbappe factor?
Yeah, Mbappe factor. It
was why Messi also left in a hurry.
I think that's the factor, because he just wanted everything centered around him, and he didn't want others to, like, you know, benefit from everything that he's getting, to get the same treatment. So I felt that's the reason why they all had to leave the way they did.
All right, let's move on to other stories. One team that has been looking for a coach at Crystal Palace finally has appointed one. Let's tell you that Crystal Palace have confirmed the appointment of Oliver Glasner as the new manager to replace Roy Hodgson. The Eagles have confirmed the arrival of the Australian coach, who has signed a deal that will last until the end of 2024. 2025-2026 season. He most recently managed Eintracht Frankfurt until the end of last season, famously guiding them to the Europa Cup trophy in 2022. His confirmation comes just 80 minutes after the Eagles announced that Huijsen, 76 years old, would leave the club. Palace also confirmed that his coaching staff will be confirmed in due course. Glasner won't be in the dugout for their clash with Everton earlier, confirmed that Paddy McCarthy and Roy Lewington will lead the team for their clash at Goodison Park, talking about against Everton there. Looking at Crystal Palace, have been a decent side. Do you think they made a mistake sacking former Arsenal player Vieri? Because Vieri was in charge of that team last season before he was sacked and Roy Hodgson brought back.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I don't think, the team management now, everybody wants something better for their club. Crystal Palace hasn't been doing so well. Yeah, they haven't been doing so well. So, everybody wants to, get to that peak. They want a trophy. You can remember, like, it's been decades since they won, that they lifted the Premiership. So they need that coach who is going to, like, manage the team and then push them and then get them to win, win matches, and then be that top contender team that they used to be, and then get them trophies.
What's the expectations for the new coach? Glasner, in 2022, we saw him take Eintracht Frankfurt to Europa League final and did win it.
And yes, like I said, every team is looking for that coach that will come manage the resources that they have and then help them win trophies. He took his former team to the Europa and then they won it because, of his style of play and then the coordination of the team and all of that. So I think Crystal Palace need that little more push because they have qualities in the team. They definitely had qualities in the team. So they need that little push and someone who can manage the whole players for them to, ascend and then win trophies.
All right, stay talking football matters and stay talking transfer and coaches being hired and fired. Let's let you know that Bavarians, talking about the German giants, Bayern Munich, are eyeing up a move for Xabi Alonso should they sack Thomas Tuchel, according to report with a return for Hansi Flick also sounded out. But Tuchel is under increasing pressure after his side stumbled to a third straight defeat across all competitions at the weekend, having lost to 3-2 to Bochum. The now three Bundesliga leaders, Bayer Leverkusen, managed by impressive Alonso by 8 points after a 3-0 spanking last weekend, and Trey Lazio won nearly on aggregate in the Champions League last 16 knockout ahead of the return leg. Tuchel's position appeared unattainable last night after the club cancelled the post-match press conference, though the decision was thought to have been taken due to the team flying straight back to Munich shortly after the final whistle. But regardless, Bayern now appear to be planning for life after Tuchel. The Athletic claimed that Alonso is a target, with any potential appointment being with a view of taking him to take charge of the team permanently. Do you think Alonso might just be the man Bayern needs, or do you think it's a smart move just because one season wonder, not one season wonder per se, but the fact that for the first time, he has taken Bayern Leverkusen from last 2 seasons to this season, and now they're top in the Bundesliga. Is that good enough to make Bayern feel that he's the man? Remember, they had the former coach who also did well as a youngster, and they gave him the Bayern job, and he could not deliver per se.
This generation of young coaches are coming with different styles and, different energy towards the game of football. And Xabi Alonso was a very great player when he was still during his time, and now he's doing well as a coach. So I feel, it's a German league, and then he has that energy and then that aggression towards players for them to do what? To win. Xabi Alonso is a winner. He works in day and night for everybody around him to win. So Bayern Munich now are looking for someone like that. And the man that fits the job for them now is Xavi Alonso. That's why they're actually going for him to like bring him so he can infuse that winning mentality in the team.
Do you think he's going to be under pressure? Because being the coach of Bayer Leverkusen is quite different from being the coach of Bayern Munich. We saw Nagelsmann, who was doing great things in his former club before Bayern, brought him in, and after one season, the next season, couldn't deliver the goods. Bayern had to let him go, though now he's the national team coach of Germany. Do you think Alonso might face such pressure coaching a big team as Bayern Munich?
I don't think, because he has been in big stages, as a player, so I don't think he was able to manage that, because as a player there are pressures. As a coach too, the pressure is also going to be different. So I don't think he's going to be under much pressure because he has the resources he needs. So I just think he needs to calm down, take it easy, and then find a pattern that works, and then just go with that.
All right, let's see how this is going to pan out. But Alonso definitely one of the men needed. All right, you had some stories you were supposed to share in terms of...
Yes, actually, it's we have a few stories about AFCON, and then Jose Pizarro, and then the NFF have yet to decide if he will be staying or he'll be leaving. So I don't know. What do you think? Should they like give him a deal, extend his deal? If his deal doesn't get extended, the last match he'll be overseen with his Spurs will be in June thereabout.
All right, we spoke with Charles, coach Chris Olokpe, who was at the AFCON 2023 as a journalist and also as a coach. He made very, very sound revelations saying Pizarro is a stubborn man. He doesn't work with the young coaches like George Finidi and other assistant coaches, which for me it's a bad sign. As a coach, you should work with your assistants because even if you know more than them, and they should be able to learn something from you as the coach of the national team. Then also the fact that when he mattered most, that's talking about the final game, he choked. We don't need a coach that will choke on the final day. We need a coach that will get the job done on the last day, because he made some very questionable decisions in the final match. The formation, the tactics, the team selection was faulty. He started Chukwueze, who has always been coming as a sub in the tournament, and left the man who has always been one of the spark in the wings, talking about Moses Simon, which was, for me, was a very bad call. Then also, when his team couldn't deliver the goods, the players on the pitch couldn't deliver the goods till the 70th minute, he still let them there. He didn't make those changes until the 80th plus minute, and that's a very bad side. It meant here. Then you also look at what happened on the sidelines during the final match. He was having confrontation with the match officials. His players were losing their temper. He, as a coach, wasn't supposed to also lose his temper. He was supposed to calm his players down. He was supposed to let the players know that, okay, this team, the Ivorians were trying to get under your skin so that they distract you, make you lose your focus. But rather, he also got involved and lost his temper, and he also got carded by the referee. That's a very bad side as a coach. Yes, we'll give him kudos for discovering Nwabali and for his tactics all through the tournament, but we also need a coach who's going to do more than that. So I think if he has a meeting with the NFF technical committee, and they are able to sort out these gray areas I've mentioned, and he's willing to change his pattern and also work with Philippe George. Philippe George is a world-class player. Yes, he played for Ajax. He played for Real Betis in Spain. He has worked under sound managers like Louis van Gaal and co. So he knows what he's doing. He's an ex-international. Jose Pizarro needs to respect George Finidi. He needs to give kudos to the Nigerian coaches. So if he doesn't agree to play ball with the Nigerian Football Federation and what's the target, then I think his contract shouldn't be, renewed. Then we have to set higher targets for him. You're not just going to go to the African competitions without a target. You're not just going to qualify to the World Cup. You're going to get to the final of the World Cup. You're going to win the World Cup. Such targets then will give him. Then once he agrees with those terms, then I think probably he should be given a chance.
Yeah, and some names are coming up already for Nigerian coaching system here. Salisu Yusuf, the under 23.
I think I don't even want you to go far. For me, that man shouldn't be anywhere near the national team. I think he being in the national team is political, simply because he's from the northern region, simply because the NFF president is from the northern region. That he's the same person that was caught undercover journalist. The FIFA placed a ban on him because he was collecting bribes from players to feature in the national team. Such coaches should not be in the national team.
Yes.
So if he's been mentioned, then I think it's going to be a disservice to Nigerian coaches who have gotten the job done without collecting bribes, without compromising, and without putting the Nigerian football, family in distress.
Yes.
So I think his name shouldn't even come up as coaches likely to take the national team job. If we are talking about the national team, we have the likes of Emmanuel Amuneke, who had left the shores of Nigeria, taking Tanzania after 50+ years to the African Cup of Nations. Such coaches should be given a chance
the opportunity
to get the job done. We have some coaches that have done well with the female national team. They should be considered. We've got Ladan Bosso, who has been, though he has not broken the ice, but has always done well with the junior national teams. You could step him up rather than give Salisu, who his conduct cannot be, verified. So I think.
So I think, okay, now, so do you think like we should just maintain and just get a home-based coach, or we should also look outside to like get a foreign coach to come help?
I think if we must go foreign, we should as much get quality coaches. It must be top-class coach. You must go for Antonio Conte of Italy. You get Mancini. If you Carlo Ancelotti, those are the high-class coaches. Because Nigeria is a big brand. Because it's not just Nigeria paying the coach. We have people like Nike, Adidas, who are our sponsors, who will be footing the bill of these international coaches coming over to Nigeria. So it's not like Nigeria doesn't have the money, or we have the brand name to have those top-class coaches coming. So if we're not going to go for home-based coaches, if we're going foreign, we shouldn't settle for those like Jose Posero, who is trying to use us to make name, but rather get world-class coaches who have made the name already. Then also, because the advantage is, when you've got a world-class coach as your national team coach, other countries respect you. You're sure of the quality he's going to bring to your national team. Big sporting, manufacturer companies will want to associate with you. And when you're looking for grade A matches, big countries want to play. Imagine Ancelotti being our coach. Carlo Ancelotti being our coach, you're sure Spain is going to want to play with you, Brazil. The top countries will play with you, because for you to have a class of Ancelotti as your coach, a coach that Brazil was looking for also, means you mean business. Even your players are going to up their ante because they know a world-class coach is their coach. It's going to better the performance of the national team. Yeah,
I agree with you on that, because when a top-class coach is coming to a team, the mentality and then the approach to the game of those team members will actually change. If you are bringing a winning coach, he's going to come in and infuse that winning ability.
Mentality,
and then big clubs, other countries as well, will also want to like play with you and then test themselves for for the future. The World Cup is around the corner, and then looking at Champions League that will be coming up tonight between Inter Milan and Atletico Madrid. What are your takes?
For me, these are two great sides. Atletico Madrid, talking about the Spanish side, and you're talking about the Italian side in Inter Milan. Champions League winner Inter Milan had a great season thus far. So I think it's going to be something amazing for football fans to watch the very best of the Italian side and the Spanish side. This is where most times in such encounters it's going to be the coaches, whatever the coaches. The matches are actually won by the coaches at the dugout, whatever formation and the substitution the coach does is what is going to determine who wins this match. Then also big players for both sides of both teams. It's going to also, because you look at Antoine Griezmann, he's been amazing for Atletico Madrid. He has refound his form since he left Barcelona. So that's going to be a plus for Atletico. For Inter Milan, this is a chance that they're trying to stage a comeback into being one of the big teams in world football. So it's going to be an exciting night for Champions League lovers. And let's, before we call it a wrap, let's talk about World Cup qualifiers that will be starting in some few months from now. We've got a South African ex-international, Dr. Khumalo, saying he believes that the Bafana is going to be the Super Eagles in the World Cup qualifier ahead of the 2026 World Cup. For you, judging by the match that went down at the Cup of Nations, the fact that it took penalties for the Super Eagles to beat South Africa, do you agree with him?
You know, South Africans now coming back now, they want to come back for revenge because they lost to Nigeria in penalties. You know, it was a beautiful game. They were both competitive. They were both knocking at the door till, you know, till after the 90th minute, and now had to go to extra time. So coming back again to play, you know, definitely is going to be confident saying that South African Bafana will be able to, you know, defeat the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the World Cup qualifiers. I don't think that is possible. They can't defeat the World Cup. They can't defeat, you know, the Super Eagles in the World Cup qualifiers because of the kind of quality we have. Where the Super Eagles have more quality and then more experienced players. We've been on that stage so many times, and then they know what it takes. We lose that to Ghana in the last qualification match, and then we don't expect to lose this time. So the hunger and then the hunger is different this time around, and then we want to get there. A lot of our players are, you know, represented in the World Cup. So now they are all hungry, and then they want to get to that world stage, you know, to prove themselves that yes, we deserve to be here. So the Super Eagles of Nigeria, I'm definitely sure they wouldn't even, you know, give Bafana a chance to defeat them.
All right, that's how much we're going to give to you on today's edition of the program Talk Sport. It's been Odi and I giving you all the big stories and analysis of the different top stories making the rounds, from Bayern Munich trying to get a new coach to Crystal Palace confirming their coach also, and Pep Guardiola apologizing, and Peseiro being wanted by the Desert Foxes of Algeria. So in the coming days and weeks, we get to see if the NFF will be, you know, retaining Jose Peseiro, or if Algeria will be snatching him away from Nigeria. All those stories, definitely you can do well to check our handles and get a feedback or replay of Talk Sports. And your last words.
Keep watching Talk Sports on Global TV, and always stay fit. Enjoy the game of football.
All right, so that's how we call it a wrap on today's edition. Join us tomorrow for another exciting edition of the program, Talk Sports.